Welcome to Las Cruces. Today, earlier, they had a new athletic director appointed at New Mexico State. His name is Joe Fields. He's from Syracuse, New York. I don't know if that's where he's originally from. I know that's where he played college football and got his start in the business of college athletics. It's a business. He prefers the NIL because it makes it easier to do what needs to be done and makes it more less morally challenging than what it was like before NIL. And I'm like, yeah, I understand your perception, but it doesn't hold water. It's Bob Marley. One day the bucket will go to the well, then a day the bucket will die or drop out. And you got to understand collective brain activity. When it's bad, it affects all of us. And I watched 2 videos today on Malcolm X, and he said, I would have killed the person that told me that Elijah Muhammad had done what he had done. And it's like, you don't kill somebody over that. Okay. You kill somebody if they try to kill your daughter or sexually assault your daughter. Okay. But you don't kill them because a man that indoctrinated you went against his indoctrination and someone told you about it. That's wrong. It's, when you're killing someone, it's out of self-defense and protection for the gift of life. Okay, so someone tries to rape your daughter or kill your daughter, you kill them. Okay, you have to. They've given you no choice. Okay, but if a man walks into your house and says Elijah Muhammad has been having sex with these young women and then just abusing their lives through his position of delusions of human authority, you say, well, I'm going to go check into this, see if it's for real. But you're not going to kill somebody. You're just going to say, I choose to not believe you, but I will go see for myself, right? But there's no reason to kill a human being. That's bad thinking. That's brain damage. That's mental and emotional. That's tribalism, and that's abuse, and that's reacting from abuse and being abused into a trained and conditioned way of thinking. Like Sonia Sintami says, they're acting like dogs, Parsons. Does that make you a dog? Right? And you got to understand how my brain works. I'm the Ark of the Covenant. And then tonight, I was watching, on that video, he also talked about the issue with James Meredith on City Desk and getting a better education at the University of Mississippi, which is not the case. Which I found extremely insulting for the people of Normal, Mississippi and Itabena, Mississippi. Okay. 2 colleges that provided education for people like Malcolm X in Mississippi. Okay. Now, who was better at educating, Caiaphas or Jesus? Okay. Who had an institution that was considered the best school in Judea at that time? Caiaphas. Okay. Jesus did not have a financial institution to indoctrinate people into an institution. Okay. But the best education you could get at that time was in a place called Nazareth. Okay. And if Benjamin Netanyahu and Hamas can't argue with that. Okay, so saying, like in the state of Alabama, the best education you could get for years in Alabama was at a place called Tuskegee Institute that taught you pragmatic, practical skills to do what is necessary in a healthy manner to provide and take care of people to the best of your ability, given oppression through make-believe economics. Okay? So Booker T. Washington was superior intellectually, emotionally, psychologically to anybody in the state of Alabama at an institution for economics, right? Far superior to Auburn and the University of Alabama for years. Okay? You had people that were in class warfare that indoctrinated people and abused people through make-believe money, to abuse people through access to what is required for the holy covenants of sexual reproduction taught to us by the teacher Jesus Christ, who's way better than Caiaphas, right? It's a good connection to this kid Fields. This is Joe Fields' kid. And I felt it coming today. And I felt a lot of this frustration from the past and the indoctrination and the brain damage from abuse that people talk about, and then people are still talking about it to this day, and this is an amazing conversation. It's like, are you listening to the same conversation that I'm listening to, and can you explain education well enough to get yourself away from your own dictation and legislation, your own indoctrination? Okay? Because Malcolm X couldn't, and it got him killed. They got him murdered. If he was able to explain himself the way I explain myself today in his time, his life would have been radically different. He would have had a lot more of a following and a lot more of a public, if he said what I said about Booker T. Washington, about institutions of higher learning, and about Jesus and Caiaphas in public, which I don't believe he did, okay, he would have been things would have radically changed. But that wasn't tangible because the prayer he wasn't capable of handling the prayer. He wasn't capable of listening to the prayer at the time. He wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. He didn't want to hear what I had to offer him in prayer. Do you understand? The mind works that. Paul Simon, the boxer. Still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest, right? Okay. So you can talk to people over and over and over and over again about intelligence. And they're not going to accept it until they have the capacity to understand it completely. And when you're in survival conflict over mythology and accept that mythology, it's really hard to understand truth and then apply life and truth, like what's happening here in Las Cruces. They had the thing on there. I was in the tub soaking and I was pissed listening to it. Yeah, these people, we like getting away from people. We don't want other people around us. We make money to get away from other people. So you don't give a fuck about the people that have chemical waste in their food in the center of town dying because of your money off your tax. You're okay. I tell people that all the time in New Mexico when they come here. All Mexicans, they're a tax write-off. You live here because you have a better quality of life because of the economics, and you can go out and get away from people like Ted fucking Turner. And these poor people are getting killed in economic genocide operations through government contracts. Okay. And getting up and doing something violent to the groups that provide that environment isn't going to stop it from happening. It's just going to get you killed and them killed, and you're not going to do anything to be as good as Booker T. Washington, Jesus, or myself. Right? Okay. So, don't worry about it. I got the dogs in check. Who let the dogs out, right? You come into the dance with your fancy car, big bankroll, heap of ganja, searching all around for a soft sister. Take anyone. But let me tell Jah, I don't say Jah. You don't say Jah. I speak because I am given gift by the glory of Jah. I don't tell Jah anything. I understand that God is omniscient and omnipotent. My ability to speak and listen to is given to me by the glory of God. I don't tell God anything. I don't ask God for anything. Okay? The Lord understands what God gave you to live in holy covenants and how to obey those laws. And everything you need can maintain your lives eternally through holy covenants when you understand and obey those laws. The Lord is a perfectly mature man who understands rationality, sanity, and truth very well. So welcome to Las Cruces, Mr. Fields. I'm looking forward to having you here. And you'll be working with my nephew, Jordan Menegas. He's a good kid. Okay. So he's a really good kid. He's a very good kid. He's a good young man, and he's got very good. He's a good person. You'll thoroughly enjoy him. I think he'll thoroughly enjoy you. Mario was in a tough position, and me and Mario had become on a friendly basis, become what I would consider a friend. And I love Mario, and I love his family, and I'm doing everything in my ability, like I do with my family, to try to make sure that his family is safe and protected and lives in the kingdom of heaven where we live in the Lord's Prayer. And I'll do that with everybody that showed me the dignity and respect. I have the same relationship with the Walkers and the Martins and and Natty's crush, the warrior. Yeah. When they picked him up and Matt, they picked him up and slammed him on his shoulder, and he still finished the game when I think it was against Fresno, and that's when Tavion broke all the records and stuff. Yeah, Matt Christian, the Mexicans here love him. He's a good kid. My Natalie had a huge crush on him. He's so gorgeous. Yeah, he's a cute kid. He's got a gorgeous wife. Isn't it ironic? Yeah, I really do think. But a lot of these kids, Cruces is no more of a scarier place than New York or Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. And it's actually a less scary place because Earl lives here. Okay. And Earl can command technology to protect people from people that are jealous, envious, vicious, selfish, and read prompters and are forced to read lies for genocide operations and don't want to do it. I understand. I understand you guys have to read teleprompters. I understand the president himself has to do it. I understand you want to try to assimilate to this military mindset group to stay alive and keep your family alive and be a part of it, and then they get you addicted to that. And I understand that. So I don't. I think a lot of you think Donald Trump is more of a vicious monster than he. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just telling you guys how many of you are in similar positions. How many of you are praying to Jesus for money and a good job to keep you and your family safe while other people are murdered by genocide operations through these jobs that are not living the Lord's Prayer? Do you understand? It was a good prayer. It was a good prayer connection. You got a good family with you. You have good prayer help. Okay. So it was good prayer, Mister. We're going to label it about Booker T. Washington. That's good. Yeah, it's good with me too. Oh, I love that man so much. Yeah. That's a very brave man. I remember when I was young and I watched During Haywood when they talked about W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T, and he was critical of Booker T, and it's like, yeah, it's easy for you to be critical. A black man in Massachusetts who's an academic being critical of a man teaching his people like him to survive in Alabama and the conditions Alabama and Massachusetts back in their time was like Mars and Venus. They couldn't have been more different. And Booker T. Washington was a very astute, protecting, intelligent man. Like, you know, McLeod Bethune-Cookman and Mary McLeod Bethune-Cookman, you know, what she had to deal with in Florida and how she had to teach and how she had to teach people, you quote, have a place. If you try to step outside this place, they will kill you. So I'm giving you the tools you need to live and survive where you won't be murdered. And that was and then a lot of people saw him as Sambos and Uncle Toms, and that's not true. Basically teaching people how to maneuver through the hell and save your family through the hell and not get butchered by the hell and still stay alive and isolate yourself in certain groups where you could, you know, and that was somewhat effective at certain times back then, but this is the 21st century. You can't go hide from other people and be Ted Turner and buy half of New Mexico and ride across it on a horse and not have to run into any other human beings that you exploit to be a multimillionaire and own baseball fucking teams, right? You understand? You got to understand how my mind works. Okay. And then tonight on the football game, I was watching the Anderson kid hold on the return and the coach yelling at him, and you don't understand. He wants to keep his position on his team. So he had to think, I can't let this guy pass me. I want to have a good return here. You eliminate money, he's not going to do that. Okay, he's just gotten a better position. He's beat me. He just beat me, coach. Yeah, I saw that. He's really good. It's hard. Yeah, well, like with me. When I play, you go stop him, coach. I can't. No. Charlie said we should have somebody punch me in the mouth before every game so I'd go off and go for 30 in the first quarter. I should go talk to that guy. Go hit him in the mouth so we can get this game over with. Because that's when people were dirty to me, I would get mad. When people weren't dirty to me, I wouldn't get angry or mad. I didn't get angry or mad at the kids at East. At East, when we played East, it was my own teammates that undermined me. When they punched me in the mouth, everybody felt bad because it was such a dirty pull that they all just sat back and just destroyed them. Yeah, don't punch me in the mouth when I'm being a good person and you're not. Okay, guys, I love you very much. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, hang in there. Everything's going to be all right. Just have faith in God, trust in the truth, and just believe that we can correct the technology. Jeff is a good kid, and so is Demis, and they're good kids, and we're going to be okay. Okay, guys, I love you very much. Peace.